Supreme Court decided in favor of same-sex marriages, there's been a lot of rhetoric from primarily the Republican Party that talks about 99 unelected officials making decisions for our country. What is your opinion about the Supreme Court justices? Should they continue to be appointed, or should they be elected based on unpopular decisions that are made sometimes by the justices, and people now rising to the occasion to suggest that we ought to elect Supreme Court justices? What is your opinion?
John, let me quickly say, and this is one of the things that I don't think gets talked about some, is that, look,
that's a good question.
One of the justices that voted in favor had been appointed by a Republican president. So it wasn't strictly a party line decision. If it hadn't been for a Republican appointed justice, it wouldn't have gone the way it did.
Yeah, and then the answer about whether judges can be elected, this again is the way that our founders structured the Constitution. They felt that courts were an important protector of the liberties of the people, and that if they were subject to elections, that it would be far too likely that judges could not take unpopular stances to protect people's rights, to protect our institutions. And so they wrote into the Constitution that federal judges are appointed for life. They cannot be fired unless they commit a crime or something like that. And even their salary is protected so that the president can't sort of pretend to fire them by just cutting their salaries. And so again, it would have to be a pretty profound amendment of our Constitution to change that. Now, states have elected judges, right? Alabama has elected judges.
Yes.
That's a choice that many states have made. But our Constitution chose life tenure.
But John, John brings up a great point, and thank you so much, John, because that is a question that gets asked from time to time. Is you're putting a lot of power into the hands of somebody that I did not, that I didn't vote for.
And it's really, Lynn, one of the most important things I think that a president does is
It's extremely important.
I mean, when you elect a president, like the next president will likely appoint some people who will be on the Supreme Court. It's not just a decision that the president alone makes. I mean, the Congress is involved. It's the Senate.
Yes.
The Senate has to
And there's some
approve.
very heated debate that goes into who sits
Absolutely.
on the Supreme
And
Court.
there have been some justices who have, or potential justices who have not been able to get through the approval process.
Yes,
so
during
these
the vetting
folks that we
process.
have are people who have been appointed and approved, and they represent really a good cross section of our country.